Hi everybody, it's Marcy, and here before you I have the contents of my scrap box. I went through and I straightened up my craft room, and whenever I'm making a journal, cutoffs and stuff like that go into my scrap box. And when I went through and straightened my craft room, some other papers ended up going in my scrap box. And this is most of the contents. I've got some other stuff over here. I've got cutoffs from some file folders, stuff like that. So I thought, now my scrap box, my craft room is much more tolerable, but now my scrap box is kind of stressing me out. So it's time to clean it out. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to start with making some simple little journals. Scoot that over so it's not right in my way. I took, last night when I was first digging through, I took 2 pieces of scrap, just put them back to back, and made a little, what will become a little journal cover. No big deal. So that's what I'm going to work on first, is I'm just going to make up some little bitty, some basically scrap journals. And here I've got, this is a cutoff. It's roughly 8.5 by 8.5. And here I've got another cutoff of cardstock that is 5.5 by, I'm assuming 12, no? 10 and just over 1/4. So if I put these back to back, then that gives me a little journal cover. The journal will be small, but doesn't really matter. So for my covers, I'm going to use my thicker papers, and I'm not putting the glue all over because I'll be sewing around the edges. I just want to kind of tack it in place. So get that down. Use my glue squisher. And for this, to start out this little series, I'm not going to be doing any embellishing. I'm just going to be making, like, first, I'm starting off with, I'm actually going to make little journals. Once I've made a few of those, basically that's what I'm doing today. When I am done with that, we'll cut that at 5.5. And then see when 5.5 by 8.5, which will make it 5.5 by 4.25. So it'll just be a little journal, but that'll make a great cover for a little pocket journal. Okay. I'm not going to do any embellishing. Now, when I've got a little scrap like that, I'm going to go ahead and toss it away. like I said, last night I made this one using the same method. Went and sewed it around. There was a little bit of paper left over, so I just put a belly band on this back edge. And so there's one cover. Here's another cover. So let me sew around that, and then we will go ahead and add some papers to our journal. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and I've stitched around my little journal cover. Very simple little journal cover, but I think that'll be kind of pretty when I do something with it. So now I want to fill it with some papers, and I want to use lightweight papers because this is obviously just going to be a single signature. And 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So the most I want my papers to be is about 5 1/4 by 8 at the widest. So here I've got a magazine page. Put that one right there. All right. So they fit in, and I left enough. I cut off enough that I don't, I mean, I've got a little bit of creep, but it doesn't creep outside the journal. So I'm fine with that. And let me grab a couple of paper clips. Probably don't actually need them for this, but I like to have the security. There we go. So I hope everybody's doing well today, enjoying yourselves. Here I feel like we're on about day 12,982 of cloudy, rainy weather, but it is finally getting a little warmer. Okay. I'm going to just put a little bow in this for now. Because I'm not, like I said, I'm not doing any embellishing. I'm not doing any finish work at this point. I'm just strictly making the basically a blank journal. So there we go, just that quick. We have a simple little 12-page journal using the stuff that I've got right on my desk. And just that simple, and I think that's got the possibility of being a really nice little journal. And I used 12 papers, so that means I've got 48 pages. And there you go. And, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make as many as I can over the next couple of hours. And then I'll come back and I'll show you what I've got done. I'll also go ahead and add papers to this cover that I made last night. And then we'll talk about what we might do next. So I will be back shortly. Okay, I'm back, and I managed to make make 6 journals, 6 little journals in about 2.5 hours. So this is the one I made on camera, just a variety of papers from my scrap box, cut down. The size, all the journals are different sizes, and each one, the size of each one is determined by whatever paper I chose to use for my cover. So we've got that one, and each one has 12 papers in it, so 48 pages. So I don't see the need to do an entire flip through of all of them, but just random papers, all done with 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And I've got this one. Let's see. The first one we made was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. The pink birds is 5 1/2 by just over 4 1/2 inches tall. So it's actually wider than it is tall. This one is as well. This one is 6 inches wide by 5 inches tall. And this one was actually a bit of a challenge. I didn't think about it. I had the strip of scrapbook paper left over, and it was 12 inches, so I matched it up with another one so I could get a little bit sturdier of a cover. But of course, most of my other papers were only 11 inches, so there's a little room here at the edge that I might consider when I go to make a closure for that one. Then we've got this little guy that is 3 1/2 by 5 3/4. So again, just random papers. And then this one is the first one that I made the cover for, and it's 6 1/2 by 4 1/4. So you can see none of these is real standard sizes, but they'll make perfect little journals. The last one is 5 1/4 by 6 1/2. Perfect little journals just to give us little gifts. Of course, before I gave them to anybody, I would embellish them a bit, but just scrap paper journals. So, and each one I tied the signature string, and just left it tied in the center until I decide what I'm going to do with it. So these are my mini journals. The first thing made with my box of papers. I think in my next video, I'm not sure what I'm going to work on next. I'm leaving the scrap of papers on my desk, and I'm going to move on to something else. So be sure to join me. Stay safe, be healthy, happy crafting, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.